career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is hit. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker, who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. It is the noon hour, and my good people, you know what that means. All right, it is time to mention our good friends at Mulberry Barbecue, now with 2 numero dos locations at 11th and Cornhusker and the 61st and Apples Way, right off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. Both locations are open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Try their burn-in sandwich, a brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, full slab of ribs, a half-smoked chicken, and much, much more. Plus incredible sides. Get fueled for lunch today or make your dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker and at 61st and Apples Way, just off of Highway 2. All right, Jake, the headline of the show says, should Nebraska fans be concerned? Do you know what we're talking about?
No, it concerns me a little bit that I don't know what we need to be concerned about.
So just so folks know, I will just randomly send Jake clips. You know, like if it's a Friday night, we may not run it until a Monday, which is why sometimes I do and I don't. I could just look through our texts, but sometimes I do or don't do that. Sometimes I just like to be surprised. Like, oh yeah, that's what it was. But I'll send him the headline. Usually, I don't know, 30 minutes before the show. No follow-up description. Just here's the headline, you know, and you make it work, you make it fit. So if you think back to yesterday's show, we left with a teaser, right?
Yeah.
We have the last recruiting class per just about every ranking system out there, because they can vary, when it comes to the 2026 college football recruiting class or Big Ten recruiting classes. We're 18th out of 18 teams. So if you think about it, that means we're behind Rutgers, we're behind Maryland, we're behind Northwestern, Purdue. So you have no idea what I'm going to... Well, we did briefly talk off air yesterday, because we knew we were going to talk about this today. You didn't know I was going to come at it from this angle, because I started thinking about it last night. I'm like, all these schools, we always have way more athletes than, we're always more talented than, we're ranked below them. Should this be, and I started thinking about the actual schools. Like, we're not talking just USC, Ohio State, Michigan, all this. Like, we're talking all the schools I just mentioned. Schools that sometimes we take for granted we're just going to be. I remember getting ready for Maryland. I dared to point out their pass rush, and some people are like, it's Maryland. We're going to always beat them. You know, it's last time we played them in Lincoln, we lost 13-10, but whatever. We won this year. That's all that matters. You know the last time we had a fourth quarter comeback to win a game, by the way? This year at Maryland, just to point that out. Just because I randomly went over that stat, came over that stat this morning, so I thought I'd share it and sound smart. But is it concerning to you at all? Well, let's start with that. Is it concerning to you, Jake? Text line, let us know. Is it concerning to you? What's that number, Jake?
402-464-5685.
All right, are you concerned at all about this?
I wouldn't say concerned. It's I think a lot of it is the expectation that you're going to get some help from the transfer portal. It's a young team altogether, so there might not be as many spots available. It is while not concerning, it's an adjustment right to the eyes to go through and look at these these rankings and it's like normally because when you see those rankings, normally it would be like, man, okay, something's gone wrong here. But I got to talk myself back from it and say, okay, here's the reasons maybe why that Nebraska's at the bottom of the ranking.
Right? How'd you say adjustment to the eyes?
Yeah,
I like that, because the word that popped into my head was perplexing. I don't know if that's exactly the best word. I like the way you said it. Adjustment to the eyes. I never heard that before. I'm going to steal that and use that. So what actually brought this to my attention again was, I think it was last week's, was it 8 days ago? 2 Mondays ago, Matt Rule's bi-week press conference. He said we're going to add maybe 1-2 more guys to the 2026 class. So what that tells me is they're good. We're going to add 1 or 2 more guys. We're good with the class. We're good with being 18 out of 18 teams in the Big Ten. So this is not like, oh, man, we did the best we could, and this is just where we're at. No. They're fine with it. And if you stop and think about it, it's a couple things that you pointed out as well. We're very, very young. Very young. Our top 2 quarterbacks are a sophomore and a freshman. Okay? The best player on our team, hopefully he comes back. Maybe he goes NFL. We'll see what happens, is a guy who can come back next year. All of our top receivers, barring one, can come back next year. All the tight ends, barring one, can come back next year. Most of our starters are coming back next year on offense. I've said this before, the entire 3D, barring one guy, Elijah Judy, on defense is coming back. Defensive line, I should say. A lot of the second-level guys, I know Marcus Watson, Trent, a couple of those guys, they will graduate out or whatever. The secondary is really the place where because even our punter's coming back, the kicker is coming back. We need a new long snapper. Jake, you going to try for long snapper?
I don't think I have any eligibility left.
You don't have any left?
No.
When did you play?
Well, I mean, I went through college, right?
Is that how that works?
I don't know, actually. I
you never played. Don't you have 4? How does
maybe
that work?
I do. Yeah, maybe I do have all my eligibility left.
That's interesting. I never thought about it that way. Is it based on academics, or I think it's years played?
If I already graduated, well, yeah, I mean, the graduates play.
I think it's years played. Yeah. So you got 4 years.
Yeah, maybe I'll try out.
Long snapper, dude. Let's do it. I mean, Mike Leach competed for a national title, found his kicker in a freaking, mid-game. What was that? That wasn't even a tryout. It was like a
free rent for halftime.
Yeah, man. And then he never missed a field goal or an extra point the rest of the year. So Kevin Gaelick, he's a senior, so we have to get a long snap. But for the most part, it's the secondary where we're going to have some new guys step up. But even there, it's not like, oh my gosh, we have nobody that could come back. It's just you actually have some seniors in that position group. It's like one of the few guards, obviously Henry Letowski, Rocco Spindler. Yeah, but you've got Grant Bricks, Preston Timo, all these young guys, not just them. But those are the guys you think of when you think of highly touted, highly recruited guys with high expectations. By the time you're around a sophomore, it's like, all right, where are you at, my man? Are you ready to compete for this starting job or not? So I think part of it is we're really, really, really young. Now, Michigan's been arguing they're the youngest team in the Big Ten. Whatever. Tomato, tomato. Either we're the youngest or they're the youngest. I'm not going to sit down and argue every single teeny tiny little detail on this. What I know is several publications before the season said Nebraska's the youngest in the Big Ten. Now, all of a sudden, mid-season or into season, Michigan wants to claim it. Whatever. Let's arm wrestle for it. So my point is, you have any idea how many people are like, let's arm wrestle because they're joking, but let's arm wrestle over it, Adam. And someday I'm gonna take somebody as serious, and we're gonna do it. By the way, we're having a debate. We're gonna settle it by arm wrestling. I'll give your arm back to you later. But I think part of it's we're really young. I think there's going to be a little bit more action. I mean, we've done some things in the transfer portal, but the other thing I took, there are a lot of things that Matt Rule made a point to talk about. Emmett Johnson, I mean, that Heisman campaign, all that stuff. But the other thing I took away was I don't have a long list of demands. There may be some schools that have a little bit more, but not many. We can get the best players in the country. And my gut tells me we've got a lot of players coming back. So what you want to do at that point, all right, what do we need? We need this piece over here. Let's go to the transfer portal. We missed out on Isaiah World last year. Went to Oregon, okay? Left tackle from Nevada. All right, he was here. I mean, we chatted with him. And, you get a guy how much of a difference would that have made? Potentially with an improved, and I love all the guys who played for us this year, but let's be real, some spots have played better than others. What if you'd have gotten an elite left tackle or elite tackles or whatever the case may be? And Elijah Pritchett has come on as of late. Obviously, we're dealing with injuries. Again, that's a part of football. But I think they're going to be like, all right, maybe we need to address. And when he was asked specifically about the defensive line in that press conference, he almost started to answer, and then he just said, well, we're going to continue to add everywhere. I'm paraphrasing. So I think they're going to say, where do we need immediate contributors now? Because, we might have money, but if you're going after the top guys, you're going to have to make a pretty good offer. So if you're like, hey, we're going to try to get the best high school class, it's also hard to get the best transfer portal class, because if you look at the teams with the best transfer portal class, they typically they don't have to be bad high school classes, but it's hard to do both. You can only do so much. So my feeling is we're trying to go after a really, really top-notch transfer portal class. And where do we need immediate contributors? Let's go after the top guys here. We need immediate contributors here. Let's go after the top guys there. That's my take. Because if that's not it, I'm completely and utterly perplexed, and we should be very, very concerned about the 2026 class. But I'm really not, because it's pretty clear that that's Matt Rule's plan. And so the rest of the plan must be, let's go attack the portal, because we've got our culture guys. We've got our guys that have been with us. We can go focus 2026 transfer portal heavy. 2027 clearly high school heavy at this point. We obviously haven't seen much in the transfer portal for 2027 for obvious reasons. A little bit ahead of its time. But you look at 2027, number 5 recruiting class in the country right now. And this is going to sound crazy. I think Trey Taylor is underrated. Like, he's the 93rd best player in the country, according to ESPN. I think he's underrated. 4th best quarter. I think he's underrated. You look at Pittman out of Omaha. This was pointed out to me, somebody. I almost feel like his rating has gone down since he committed to Nebraska. Like, you commit to an SEC school, ooh, you go up in the ratings. You commit to Nebraska, it's almost like, oh, I might have to slide that kid a little bit. You think there's a little bit of subconscious or maybe very conscious bias when it comes to rating recruits at all, Jay? Because I do. I buy into the bias, at least to a degree. What about you?
Well, I mean, I've seen it work over the years in Nebraska's favor, too, where, they find a 2-star kid, offer him, and then all of a sudden he's a 3-star, which makes sense. Like, as a recruiting service, you're like, I think this guy's a 2-star. Well, if Nebraska or, like Oklahoma or somebody offers him, you're just like, well, I could be wrong. Maybe he's a 3-star. So I can kind of get that. I think he struggled a little bit in certain games, too, that might have brought him down a little bit. The
talent is there. That's for sure. Anything off the text line real quick?
Let's see. No, there's nothing there, but I do think it's interesting because you could, I think we're both kind of not all as concerned, and that's kind of the point to put. But if you can argue devil's advocate here for a second, is that Penn State, of course, doesn't have a coach for next year. They've got 12 commits. It might not stand, but their 12 commits that they have, Nebraska has 10. They're 60th in the ranking. Nebraska's 90th. So maybe you could argue at least of the 10 that Nebraska got, they could have gotten better athletes. And then just the overall, like, it's a completely different conversations, but USC's got 35 guys, right? Nebraska's got 10. USC is one of the top ranked teams in the country, but they have 24 stars and a 5-star coming out. You don't think 4 years from now, this class for them is going to pay more dividends than Nebraska's? And again, I know it's not apples to apples, but I mean, that's a big difference.
It's a fair point, because when you say 18th out of 18 Big Ten teams, let's be real, you could still be a top 40 class. And no, you said 90th? Is that the most recent?
90th, yeah, for 24/7.
That's probably the lowest. Is that the lowest ranked recruiting class we've ever had since they started ranking classes?
Oh yeah. I mean, I didn't think it's particularly close.
So I'm really hoping, like, we are ratcheting up the transfer portals class, and that's really the emphasis. I mean, we had a top 5 one last year. I think we were 5th, as a matter of fact. So we got to be talking top 5 or better. We got to have a high batting average on the guys we bring in, and success rate to them contributing on the field, and landing. Like, I remember them. They brought in offensive tackle after offensive tackle, and they just had a hard time landing them. And I can't help but wonder if that kind of led to their decision this year. And I keep going back to tackle, because that was the one position you and I talked about all offseason. They seem to have a hard time landing guys at this spot for whatever reason. And it could be any position. Like, you could point to whatever position you want to where you think they need some help next year. I'm going to offensive tackle because Jake and I talked about it a ton last year. If you want to go to whatever. Running back, depending on what Emmett does, do you need another guy in there? Do you need defensive line, depending on who stays, who goes, whatever the case may be, although you've got a bunch of guys coming back. You maybe looked at some of the guys they added a year ago, and you're like, up front on the defensive line, like, those guys are young, talented guys. Are they immediate contributors? They haven't been. Now, they played at times, but they haven't been. They've been more long-term developmental guys, or at the moment, depth pieces. Like, I think they're looking like, we got to get immediate impact players, because we brought in depth pieces. We brought in longer-term development guys in the portal, also in the high school ranks. Now we got to go get more of those. We got to be able to get an Isaiah World. We got to, like, Oregon's entire offensive line is pretty much from the transfer portal this year. Like, it's pretty much from the transfer portal, which is crazy, the amount of success they've still had. By the way, They're out Big Ten-ing Big Ten teams. They out Big Ten Iowa in Iowa City in Big Ten Iowa tsunami football weather, borderline tsunami. And so they are very physical. So it's been shown it can happen. Now, what happens long term? I don't know if Colorado's the perfect example. I mean, Deion's an outlier in just about everything he does. Most of the time, that's a wonderful thing. We'll see how Colorado is next year, but sure seems to be Shedeur and Travis heavy, and without them, it's not so heavy. You look at Florida State, who built heavily through the portal, one great season, and then not so much. So, but I think Rule believes he's got the core. Like, if you're building the pyramid, I think he believes he's got the foundation, and now I just need that top part. I would have to assume that's how he's looking at it. And to your point, yeah, USC's got the number one recruiting class in the entire country. Going into 2026, they clearly put a ton of emphasis into that. They had not had bad recruiting classes, but nowhere near number one. So they obviously put a ton of emphasis into that this year. So we'll see what happens going forward. I mean, for a minute last night, I was like, man, should I be concerned? You know, 90th in the country, and you start to think about who we are behind, and it's like, I don't think so. I like the way you put it, an adjustment to the eyes. I don't want to say perplexing, because that's the word that popped into my head, so that's why I said it. I wouldn't say perplexing. I would say patiently waiting and very, 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 very interested to see how it plays out. You know, that's how I would put it. January is when the portal is now. January is going to be not very boring month. Let's just put it that way. It's going to be a very, very interesting month. All right. You got anything else? Text line got anything else along those lines real quick?
Steven does say off the text line, unless you're developing third and fourth year guys from the high school ranks, you need to have men in the portal for the line of scrimmage. So again, I think everybody expects it to be pretty portal heavy. And again, I don't want to bring the conversation down or cause any alarm, but
hold on. I want the bad news.
Oh yeah,
I don't know what you're going to say, but I want the bad news. Where's it at?
That's right. I should know what I'm going to say.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Oh boy.
Bad news.
So I think just typically when you have a 25-man recruiting class or something like that, you understand you're probably going to have a 50-60% hit rate as far as guys that play, contribute, help out the football program. When you have 10, you better make sure that's a pretty high hit rate, right? And I guess in going into that, as I look through it again, this is just 24/7's rankings, but kind of similar ratings probably across the board, is that they only have two guys that are top 10 in their own state, which can be understandable. You got some California, Georgia guys, Florida, that sort of thing. But even Nebraska, you go back to that, because there was a long time, there was a talk about what are they doing in the state of Nebraska? They got Jason Reynolds, who's ranked 12th in the state, but that's it for the state of Nebraska. So in-state recruiting, you go to that page, Jet Tamala's at the top at Alabama, Darian Jones going to Iowa, you got Iowa State left and right, you got Northwestern, Missouri, all these different kids that are leaving the state. And again, maybe Jason Reynolds is the best of them. Their job is to figure out who that would be. But the other thing is you go to kind of the lowest ranked guys, and maybe it's, again, diamonds in the roughs that they found or they like. Jamal Rule, I know, has been putting on some pretty good numbers, but he's among the lowest rated in the class. Dayton Raiola, the quarterback position, right, is the lowest even of your 10-man class in the ratings here. So again, I think that the kind of the answer that we're bringing, don't be worried about it. But, I think that there's a lot of truth to that. And ultimately, again, it doesn't matter what 24/7 Arrival says. It matters how much these guys help throughout the program. I just say there appears to me at least to be room to have done better with a 10-man class than they maybe have done. But again, who am I to say? I'm sitting here on a board on a mic, but just numbers wise, looking at it from the recruiting rankings, which isn't an exact science, but it usually tells you something.
You have a great bad news intro. That's all you need to have. So you do make an interesting point. Like, okay, with the 10 guys you're going to bring in, you should be swinging for the fences. If you're not going for as many, swing for the fences. The other argument that could be made, if you want to, is at least just bring in the best guys from Nebraska. Because if you're not going to bring in as good a guys from outside the state of Nebraska as we have in the state of Nebraska, then that's kind of going to be interesting. Like, what does Iowa State look like in a couple of years? Because there's a lot of them going to Iowa State. And then, fair or unfair, Dayton and Jet Tamala are going to be linked in Husker fans' eyes for years. The comparison is going to be there. And I mean, Jet just set a bunch of records in the state semifinal game versus Omaha West Side the other night. By the way, that Millard South team might be the greatest. Whether you like how it was put together or not, topic for another day. Just add it to the offseason list, Jake. Whether you like how they were put together or not, they're probably the greatest team to ever play, high school team ever in the state of Nebraska. They're going to play for a state championship upcoming. But Jet set a bunch of records, like multiple records against West Side, who's a pretty darn good high school program. Won state titles, played for state titles here in the state of Nebraska. So there was 28 guys who played in that game, Omaha West Side, Millard South, who had D2 offers or better. 28. That means there's backups getting D2 or better offers. Think about that. So it's going to be interesting to see, because when Rule's first 2 recruiting classes here, he had 8 guys from Nebraska who committed. Then the next year, 8 guys from Nebraska. That was the most amount any Nebraska football class had since 1998. And then he did it not once, but twice, his first 2 years here. He's clearly drastically shifted how he looks at things. I just can't help but wonder, to your point, all right, you're not going to bring in many. You go a little bit more national. Hey, cool. All right, let's see how it works out. Support you. But according to the ratings and rankings, maybe there was better players already in the state. Now, maybe there was more money that was going to be talked about that needed to happen to bring those guys in. And again, I have a feeling they're trying to set that aside for the transfer portal. That's what my gut tells me. But it's all going to be interesting to see how it plays out. And the Jet Dayton thing, they're always going to be linked no matter what. It just is what it is, fair or unfair, whether you like it or not. Anything else off the text line there?
A few different thoughts. Bill and Bennett said bad news box strikes again, but he was right.
I like it.
6678 saying quantity counts big in the rankings as well as quality. So just a reminder there. 1151 says, does roster size play into our class? I know we have a large roster size there. Did at one point. Do we just not have roster space for a big class, which results in a bad class rank?
Possibly. That could be part of it. I'm looking at this Steve Sipple tweet, and I'm just going to read it. Matt Rule says Nebraska. So this is a couple days ago. He put this out. Matt Rule says Nebraska, and I quote, won the portal, end quote. So this was, again, referring back to his press conference a week ago. And now has the big muscle to do it again. No excuses, big expectations, and a coach embracing pressure. With money, momentum, and a young roster he loves, Rule says Nebraska can chase the nation's best. Let's see it. That's the end of Sipple's tweet. I got to be honest. I read that because I read it, and I'm like, I'm on board with what he just said. And it makes a lot of sense to me. So we'll see what happens. We'll obviously see what plays out. I was just like, wow, 18th out of 18 behind Rutgers. I didn't even looked up to see that I knew we were low, but 90th. So who else is in front of us? Like, do I even want to know? Like UTSA Roadrunners, the Texas San Antonio Roadrunners, are they ahead of us? Like, yeah, I don't even want to know.
I could look for 89 just to make
I'm good. I'm good. Again, I will let you know how I feel about this when February rolls around and the transfer portals, pretty much we know what's happened there. Because I have a feeling that's where they're going to swing for the fences. We'll see what happens. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're actually on time. Jake is not freaking out and giving me hand signals behind the camera, so I better talk for 10 more minutes. No, I'm just kidding. Let's go to break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle. Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Byrne as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Schwieso Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schwieso Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at Schwizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in season? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Nutrition Authority invites you to check out the all-new Epic Effects. Epic Effects is designed to blast body fat, curb cravings, and provide the smooth energy to get you through the day. Home of free samples and better than internet pricing, Epic Effects can only be found at Nutrition Authority. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
It's No Shave November at Limitless Male. Let the beard grow and lose weight. If extra weight is holding you back from activities, the men's health experts at Limitless Male can help. It's no fun being left out because your weight is holding you back. GLP-1s from Limitless Male will help you drop the weight fast, and you won't be hungry. When you feel good and look good, you'll wonder why you waited so long for a free consult at Limitless Male.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at koppelcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a caller on the line, but real quick, before we bring Alex on, the Adam Carriker Show is sponsored by our good friends at Schwizo Construction, where safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Schwizo is hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work in a team that has your back both on and off the job site. Apply today at Schwizo.com. 40 years strong in business. Schwizo Construction. Again, that's SCHWISOW.com. hamiltontelecommunications.com. Also, shout out to Hamilton Telecommunications, bringing you the latest in quality technology and communication services since 1901. Ladies and gentlemen, that's almost 125 years. Learn more about their residential and business services at hamiltontel.com. That's hamiltontel.com. All right, we got the notes from Dana Holgerson's press conference. I do think one thing to point out before we bring Alex on when it comes to in-state guys, Matt Rule mentioned, I forget when he mentioned it, it might have been last winter, but at some point he said, because he was kind of asked about the shift in recruiting and emphasis and how geographic location doesn't seem to necessarily matter anymore. He said, we've gone after Nebraska guys, we brought them in, and they've been just as likely to leave as anybody else. Now, I'm paraphrasing, but I remember that because it stuck out to me. All right, let's go ahead. Let's bring Alex on. Hello, Alex. How you doing, my friend?
Good. How are you, Adam?
Dude, life is glorious. What are your thoughts?
Hey, I got a question. Do you think, I know you were a walk-on back in the day. I was a transfer student and trying to find my position back in the day. Granted, I played baseball other than football, but do you think that NIL has kind of killed the desire for having a little red ass in kids nowadays to like find their position and find like what they can do and what they want to do just based on the money aspect? I feel like back in the day, especially when I was transferring, I wanted to come in and I wanted to punch someone in the face and prove a lesson, you know, like prove my worth. And I'm sure you wanted to do the same all throughout your career. Just wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
Hey, that's a great question. I appreciate you calling in. Thanks, Alex. I almost walked on. Nebraska first told me I wasn't good enough to play here, and I almost ended up walking on. They got me a last-minute scholarship. But for your question, it's a great question. It's interesting because I've said I didn't walk in with a chip on my shoulder. I walked in with a whole freaking forest. People said I was too slow, unathletic, going to have to go play. All love and respect offensive linemen. I didn't say this, but I'd have to go play offensive line. I wasn't good enough, all that stuff. So, yeah, I walked in with a freaking forest on my particular shoulder. And I'll never forget the wrestling coach in my high school, Mr. Anderson. He goes, you know what you do when you get there, Carriker? What should I do, Mr. Anderson? You go find the biggest, baddest dude, and you start a fight with him the first day. That was his advice to me. Like I actually got that going into the NFL as well. I won't share who told me that at Nebraska. So I got that advice twice. So when he talks about guys walking in the door, wanting to prove their mettle, walking in with a chip or a full forest on their shoulder or wanting to hit somebody in the mouth, you know, hopefully more often than not, in a football sense, way more often than not, that's absolutely true. I do think it's changed a little bit. I mean, even Nick Saban, he said part of the reason he got out of coaching, he would meet with his players after the season was over, and in his words, he's like, oh, they want to talk about how much they were getting paid. Now, is that a little bit of a probably overgeneralization, a little bit too big of a blanket to cast on all these college football athletes? Absolutely. It's a little bit, I would say, unfair. What I will say is it's unequivocally more common than it used to be. It's absolutely more at the forefront than it used to be. I don't even think that's debatable. Did you see the picture? I forget who put it on X. It was a Boston college football player. The stadium's empty. A guy took the picture. He goes, one of the saddest photos I've ever seen. And it's a Boston college football player that almost upset Georgia Tech. They were not able to do it this past weekend. And he's just sitting full pads in front of the goalpost on the ground on his rear, just sitting there in an empty stadium. Did you see that at all,
I didn't
Jake?
see that, huh?
So this game still means a lot to certain players out there. I don't think it's the same as it once was. I do think NIL, I do think the transfer portal is a part of it. I mean, it's gonna create that. You know, whether intended or not, like if you said, hey, you can come and go a lot easier, you can make a lot more money at various different stops. I mean, that's a culture that's going to be created, whether intended or not. I don't think it's the same as an overarching whole as it used to be. I don't even think it's close. I don't want to say it's 100% or even close to that, because there are guys out there that when their last game inside their home stadium on senior day, like the Boston College player, is over, they don't want to leave the field. I remember my last Nebraska game, it was Colorado. We clinched the Big 12 North. We had already clinched it versus Texas A&M, but then we played Colorado on Black Friday. And I think I was the last player off the field. I was in no hurry to leave. I don't know if I've ever shared this publicly. I've shared it privately. It was kind of cool. I'm walking off the field. I do remember being the last one. Maybe somebody else was out there. I can't say definitively. I just don't remember seeing anyone else. And so we were north end zone at that point, but we came out the opposite side. But I'm going back in. There were some fans left in the North Stadium over there. Actually started chanting Carriker. I thought that was really, really pretty cool. It's kind of uplifting in a tough emotional moment for me. At least we had just curb stomped Colorado, so that felt pretty good too in that particular game. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that question. Great question. Appreciate the call from Alex. You got anything real quick, Jake?
No, just kind of like you're saying. I think it's, it's unfortunate because if you want to go and find kind of that in that love of the game aspect and all that, I don't even know if you can do it in high school anymore. I mean, there's high school guys in certain high schools anyways. So I think there's still going to be guys with chips on your shoulder. I mean, you mentioned Dayton Raiola earlier. He's still got a lot that he's going to hear from people coming into Nebraska about, how he doesn't quite measure up. So there's still going to be avenues for it, but yeah, it's like you said, kind of maybe an unintended consequence of the current era.
I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of a low-key fan of Dayton. We haven't talked about him a lot yet. He's not on campus. I mean, he hasn't, we'll get to that point, but I'm kind of a low-key fan of him because he's kind of a guy who's more, because of the Raiola name, he's out there, but he as an individual has flown more under the radar. If he was not guaranteed that job at Buford, if going into the past season or two, he had to fight, scratch, and claw and earn that job, and he did. I've listened to a couple of interviews, and if you watch him play, it matches. Like he's a fairly physical guy. Like he likes contact a little bit more than your typical quarterback. So I'm kind of a low-key fan. I mean low-key just because we haven't talked about him a lot yet. But I'm kind of like rooting for Dayton, if that makes sense to you. Obviously, I'm rooting for him because he's coming here. But just in general, like I like to find guys that are under the radar. I have no idea why I would relate to them. I like to find guys that feel like they're over-scrutinized. I like to find guys that, like, I never rooted for the guy on top. I never rooted for Hogan. I rooted for Warrior, trying to take him down. I never rooted for Austin. It was Rock. Now, it's not like I'm rooting for the worst of the worst here. Like, I always root for the people trying to take down the people on top because I relate to that. I relate to trying to overcome things and trying to be the best I can be. And so, like, a guy like Dayton, I'm like, man, he's flown a little bit more under the radar. Like, he's forever going to be leaked to Jet, which I don't even know if that's fair to him, but it is what it is. And I'm kind of rooting for this guy. I like the way he plays. I like the way he goes about things. It's hard not to root for a guy like that. So you got any final thoughts on that topic there, Jake?
No, I echo what you said.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Is there anything off the text line?
No, just someone asked if you can say Red Est on the air. I think you can.
Well, you just did. So
yeah,
I'm pretty sure that answered the question. I'll be honest. It was a great question. For a while, I'm like, what exactly does he mean? Like, by the end of the question, I knew exactly what he meant. But initially, I was like, all right, I need more. And then he gave me more, so I understood it completely. So, no, it was a great question. I love that we're getting callers. My wife yesterday, she's like, you're getting callers like all the time now. Like, the show's only an hour, and you're getting a caller like every show. Like, hey, I love it that people want to call in, text in. One of my favorite things to do, Jake's like, I can't believe you wore a jacket today. Now I'm hot. Now you see why I never wear them, and I'm taking it off as I talk here. One of my favorite things to do is actually go do public speaking, which as a kid who never spoke, didn't speak properly, and had to have speech therapy from K through 5th grade, would have been mortifying, not terrifying, mortifying. Now it's one of my favorite things to do because of the unpredictability. Before Alex came on, I'm like, hey, Jake, do you know what he's going to talk about? He's like, no. Well, thanks for vetting the caller. I guess, maybe we'll get a death threat or maybe a Husker question. I don't know. Luckily, it was a Husker question. So I love the unpredictability nature of this. Nature of these things. I will say this. We don't know, and I brought this up right before we brought Alex on. We don't know the exact hit rate. And what I mean by that is Nebraska kids who've come to Nebraska, stayed and played and contributed since Rule took over. But I think it's pretty fair to say it's not great. I think that's fair to say, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like not high. Jalen Lloyd, he's in the transfer portal again, right?
Yeah.
You know he was on the sidelines at a high school game in Omaha recently, hanging out with some current Huskers. Did you see that?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. All right, Dana Holgerson says that the team has moved on from the last game as of 10 days ago, has a lot of confidence in TJ Lateef. The way TJ handled everything was awesome. All right, for just a few seconds, I'm going to speak slowly. It doesn't happen often, so it must mean something. Was probably our most efficient game on offense. Thoughts?
I would agree. I mean, that kind of looked. A lot of people said that. So now you hear it from the offensive coordinator. Again, I mean, I think part of it is the game flow, kind of how it played out. Nebraska got the lead, didn't ask Latif to do too much. So I think I don't want to run away with that same, but at the same time, it speaks a little bit of volume, I think.
Not running away with it, just actually for once in my life spoke at a normal speed. So it sounded slow, just to let it sit out there. And honestly, I'm not trying to do anything with that. It just, like, as I'm going through these notes, that is the biggest thing that stood out to me. First of all, it's a great sign. Your most recent game was your most efficient game on offense. Like, who wouldn't want that? You're going to go into Happy Valley, and you're going to face, like, Penn State's not got a great record. Dana talks about, don't care about their record. They're a good football team. They're still a top 15 defense in the country, by the way. Their pass offense, 112th, not good. Their rush offense, the most talented running back duo in the entire country. It's not 112th, but it's not like top 10, top 20, top 30, not even close to where it should be. But their defense, top 15. So we're going to learn more about that offense in TJ this week, and then we're going to learn even more versus Iowa, who, by the way, Iowa, Ohio State, and Nebraska have given up the least amount of passing touchdowns on the season. They're all tied for first in the country. So TJ is about to face a top 15 pass defense, a top 15 overall defense, and then he's going to face an even better defense, at least statistically, when he plays Iowa. And why I get excited about that is because I want to learn about this young man. I want to see what he can do. Let's be honest, there's going to come a point where some decisions are probably going to have to be made. A rabbit hole that I've teased, but I don't want to go down at this point, okay? Because it's going to be there at some point, probably, and I want as much information about our players when offseason decisions need to be made and talked about. I want as much information as possible. And then whoever we play in the bowl game, I mean, depending on how these last two games go, I'm rooting for like an SEC team, a brand that we recognize, because that's what I want, the type of games I want to see Nebraska be competing in. Before the first drive of the game, TJ told Dana, and I quote, "I got you, I got us," end quote. And he said, basically, call the game the exact same as you normally would. Now, he did mention Penn State's a little bit different animal. It's not going to be Lincoln West like it was out in Pasadena. It's going to be senior day. It's going to be emotional. It's going to be a night game, national television, NBC. It's going to be a true road test for TJ Latif and this entire team as well. All right, Dylan told Dana he was really looking forward to playing against Penn State. Okay, obviously any competitor is truly going to want to, but he supports TJ. Penn State is a high-pressure, aggressive defense. They are attacking. They are, I'm not going to say relentless. I'm not saying relentless as a jab. I'm not going to say relentless. I think if they beat Oregon, this entire season goes different. Like James Franklin is not Virginia Tech's head coach. He is officially their head coach. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least it was supposed to be this morning announced.
Yeah, so he's still at Penn State, and they're in the playoff hunt, and I think you watch that Penn State film of their defense, instead of thinking they're really, really good, but Iowa might be better, I'm probably thinking they're relentless and they're in the top 3 in the country. So they're good, but I don't want to overblow them at the same time, okay? So, but they are a high-pressure, aggressive defense. Dana is proud of how the guys are playing, and this is something Rule mentioned a week ago. This is the most impressive blocking group of wide receivers he has ever been a part of. I like that. I like that a lot, especially after the struggles in that department a year ago. It really goes to show when coaches emphasize something, if you don't emphasize it, it's probably not going to change. But when you go out of your way to emphasize something, I'll never forget, that's the only way it can be addressed. I'll never forget, I forget which, I think it was Dana's first solo press conference last year. I could be wrong. It was like November last year, and he says, he's like naming receivers, like not but the numbers, because he doesn't know their names yet, like, why aren't you blocking better? Like, but he says it in a Dana Holgerson way. Do you remember that press conference?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Emmett keeps getting stronger and has proven he can have 30 touches or more a game. Again, he's 84 in the last 3 games. Think about that. All right. Loves that Emmett's getting recognition. Mosey and Mekhi Nelson are getting better every week. They are ready if needed. The next 2 games, ain't this the truth? The next 2 games will be low possession games, especially Iowa. If Iowa could shorten the game to 10 minutes, they'd be happy. Like, that's what they want to do. And obviously, Penn State, they're a run-first, defensive-oriented team. You know how I know? Because they're 112th in the country in pass offense. And their freshman backup quarterback, sound familiar, has 4 touchdown passes and 4 interceptions. He's got a bright future, but he's not exactly he's gaining experience at the moment. I'll put it that way. Oh, and this was sent to me, just an FYI. How much money, just take a guess. Just take a guess. How much money do you think Nebraska spent on their 2026 recruiting class? And just so everyone knows, we have no idea. Just take a guess, because I know what USC spent. And then I'm just going to throw that out there. We'll go to break.
Is this the transfer portal class or just all together?
Well, we don't know transfer portal yet. High school.
Oh, the 2026 high school class.
Sorry, did I not say that? Yeah, 2026.
Yeah, I don't know.
We have no idea.
Yeah.
That's why I had you do it, not me.
Go with $1 million. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I think it's more than that. USC spent around $40 million.
Oh.
In recruiting on this class. At least that's what we believe to be the case. Just for a little bit of perspective
they got
there.
35 guys. Nebraska's got 10. So I would say it's probably more than $1 million.
A lot of 4 and 5-star guys too.
Yeah.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Go Hog Wild Pet Barbecue.
It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a 1-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at GoHogWild.com.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
It's No Shave November at Limitless Male. Let the beard grow and lose weight. If extra weight is holding you back from activities, the men's health experts at Limitless Male can help. It's no fun being left out because your weight is holding you back. GLP-1s from Limitless Male will help you drop the weight fast, and you won't be hungry. When you feel good and look good, you'll wonder why you waited so long for a free consult at Limitless Male.
If you are a business owner, I want you to think about the amount of time you've spent worrying about safety and security. Lincoln's own experts at Diode Technologies design custom solutions for security, communication, and so much more. From automated security to secure video conferencing, their team sits down with you to get to know you and what your business needs. Manage your operations and get notified when there is suspicious activity. Save time and cut back on stress. Diode Tech always keeps you in the know. Contact them today at 402-793-5124.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
What's it take to be a mentor with big brothers, big sisters? It takes 30 minutes and a cup of coffee. A video game, best 2 out of 3. It takes sharing thumbs up emojis, clapping emojis, and loaded nachos at halftime. That's how you make an impact on a young kid's life. So go on, share a few hours a month, because mentorship may sound huge, but the truth is, it takes little to be big. To learn more, volunteer, or donate, Go to bebignow.org.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. I love hot stuff. There's some jalapenos from Tipsy Tina's.
Yep.
Nachos.
Yeah. Delicious.
So it's hard to get me with hot stuff. So I popped like 3 of those jalapenos in my mouth and just started chewing. Dude, there needs to be a warning sign. My mouth is still hurting as I'm talking. So this weekend, there's like some really sour Zats. Is that what they're called? One of the girls on my basketball team, she has them all the time. So I guess they made a really, really, really sour one. And they gave it to another dad on the team, the 4th grade girls basketball team. And the dad, like, I don't think she said he threw up or something. Like, he was having a really hard time with it. She gave it to me. Like, stuff like that doesn't faze me too much. I kind of forgot it was in my mouth. I just ate it, whatever. She looks at me and goes, you didn't even wince. So the next day, she brings me this jar. I haven't had it yet. It's like got like ghost pepper. It's like the hottest salsa she could find.
Uh-oh.
And I go, should I just chug this? She goes, yeah. The dad goes, no. I'm like, so I know who cares about my safety and who doesn't, number one. I haven't tried it yet. I thought of it because, man, these jalapenos are a lot hotter than I thought they would be. They're really good, though. Maybe if you chug like 3 at once into your mouth, then maybe that's not a great idea. But normally it doesn't faze me. But it's sitting in my fridge. I got it Sunday evening. So whenever I try that, I'll give a report. And if I miss like 3 weeks on the show, you'll know what happened in the meantime. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as a former Husker, an NFL player, I'm a bit of a health nut. Hydration and recovery, they do start at home. That's why you should team up with Culligan of Lincoln. Soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects your water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage. For drinking, make sure that you add a Culligan reverse osmosis. Ladies and gentlemen, it is like bottled quality water right at your tap. Great taste and is certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, get up to $300 off a whole home system or just $9.95 a month for your first 3 months. Schedule your free water test at CulliganHuskers.com. That's CulliganHuskers.com. Culligan of Lincoln, water you love. All right, A&M came back from 30-3, okay? Texas A&M became the first SEC team since 2004 to win after trailing by 27-plus points after coming back to beat South Carolina. Teams that trail by 27-plus points in the SEC are 1-286 since 2004. It's never it's usually not a bad thing to be the 1 and 2. To be the 1 in the 1-286. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I took that from Paul Heyman. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Although he said it better than I did. But this was interesting. Direct quotes off of X. This was after Indiana barely beat Penn State. And I quote, Indiana sucks. They needed last-second heroics to beat Penn State, end quote. This next one. After A&M comes back to beat a South Carolina team who's also under 500. And I quote, "What a courageous performance by Texas A&M. That just shows how deep the SEC is." End quote. Thoughts, Jake?
Was that from the same person or just?
Yes, it was actually. It was.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I did not see that.
Yeah, exact same person. All right. Pat McAfee on his favorite channel, ESPN. Pitt fans gave him a bit of a taste of his own medicine. You remember in 2007, West Virginia's number 2 in the country. All they have to do is beat Pitt in the backyard brawl. Pitt's under 500 that year. They go to Pitt. They lose 13-9. Do you remember who missed 2 field goals in that game?
Was it Pat?
It was Pat. This past weekend, game day was up at Pitt, and the Pitt fans started chanting 13-9, 13-9, 13-9. All righty. Let's see. Oh, going back to that Millard South team. Here are some of the scores from their games this year. 84-0, 77-0, 72-0, 77, 63-0. I think it was 62-21 over Omaha frickin' West Side to get to the state championship game. Now, this is not true at this moment in time, but when I screenshotted this on Friday, we didn't have a show, so I couldn't share it. It was true. Matt Stafford. Okay, I'm just going to read the quote, although I don't support the sarcasm behind it. It took 17 years, but ... This is FanDuel. Matt Stafford finally has a 500 career record. He was exactly 120, 120, and 1. That's so disrespectful. He's a Super Bowl champion.
All those years in Detroit.
Dude. That just shows how well he's done it since he's got to the Rams. That's what that shows. Speaking of other crazy numbers, Gino Auriemma. So we all know he's the GOAT when it comes to women's college basketball coaching. Do you realize how redonkulous the numbers are? Because here they are. His 41st season as UConn's head coach. His career record is 1,251 wins to 165 losses. He has over 1,000 more wins than he does losses. Almost 1,100 more. And by the way, 12-time national champion. Just throw that in there at the end. All right, you got any final thoughts? That's my randomness for today. Jalapenos, women's basketball, to SEC is biased again. What else is new? You got anything else?
I just want to know from you, which team in the SEC is overrated? You think all of them are? Because I think they're all pretty properly ranked.
I don't think they're overrated. The rating is fine. What I get tired of hearing is how much better they are. And, you haven't beat all these ranked teams, even though a lot of people who vote have the SEC bias, which creates the disproportionate ranking so that you get more ranked wins. I have no thoughts on this at all. No opinion. I actually think they're ranked just fine. It's the whining that comes along with it. It's the hypothetical dominance without playing a football game yet. We just would dominate the Big Ten. By the way, what did they say going into the postseason last year? And then what happened? Can we just play some football games and just see what happens? Is that too much to ask? Let me ask you a serious question before we get out. Ohio State and Indiana. Probably Ohio State, yes. Will Indiana make a legit deep playoff run this year? Can they validate they don't even have to validate being number 2. Can they just make the final 4 teams so the SEC people will shut up? Of course, their non-conference schedule is a joke. I can't even argue with that. But as a whole, they're just bashing the Big Ten, and Indiana's obviously a part of it. Do you think they'll at least make the final 4 teams this year?
It's tough to say. I mean, they've had some close games here recently. So, I mean, anything can happen. But, I do think they're one of the best top 4 teams in the nation.
All right. Give your prediction now. Indiana, Ohio State, Big Ten championship game. Who wins?
Ohio State.
Boo. I'm going Ohio State, too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a great Tuesday. How did Kurt Signetti all of a sudden become the underdog? Go Big Red Nose, remember to throw the bone.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water